Welcome back to Queenie Connection. Thanks for joining us. As Sandi Ramsay, the brand new executive director with the Center for Workforce Development, joins us on the show as our employment survey continues for the month of January. So Sandi, so great to have you on the program. Thanks so much for taking the time.
Thank you so much for having me, Lindsay. It's great to be here.
Well, let's first start off with the Center for Workforce Development, because we see the logo all the time, we hear the name, but many of us don't exactly know what it is. So walk us through what the center is specifically and what your goal is.
Sure, that's great. So the Center for Workforce Development is your expert on the local labor market in Hastings, Prince Edward, and Lennox and Addington counties. Initially, we were incorporated as the East Central Ontario Training Board back in 1997. I think a lot of people find that a familiar name. I mean, that was promoted a lot back in the day, so a lot of people had heard of that. But then they rebranded in 2016, so I think that maybe caused a little bit of confusion. So it's great to be here today to talk a little bit more about what we do. And the Center for Workforce Development does operate as one of 26 nonprofit boards across Ontario, with a focus on local labor market research and workforce development.
Great, Sandi. So within that kind of big space, what do you do on a daily basis? Because it's one thing to kind of keep track of workforce trends in Ontario, but specifically in Quintia, as we both know, it's quite dynamic.
Yes, absolutely. Well, we have basically three areas of focus. The first area of focus I'd like to talk about would be our annual local labor market plan, which is a strategic local workforce development report. It is evidence-based and created with stakeholder and community input. Current 3-year strategic local labor market plan was published originally in March 2022, and it is slated for updating in the next couple of months. So we'll be releasing the updated report at a special breakfast event happening this March. The date and location should be announced in February, and we will make the document available to members of the public at that time too.
Neat. So we have the strategic plan. What else is coming up?
All right. Well, something very important that's happening right now is a really exciting project. I love this. It's our 2024 EmployerOne Survey. It actually feeds into the local labor market plan. So the survey, now in its 8th year in Hastings, Prince Edward, and Lennox and Addington counties, is designed to gather valuable insights from local businesses on workforce gaps, challenges, strengths, and opportunities. I can also share with you that the EmployerOne Survey, it covers a spectrum of topics, including the ongoing impact of the COVID-19 pandemic on the workforce. We wish that didn't exist, but there it is. Projected vacancies, hiring intentions, recruitment strategies, and employee retention, very important subjects. Additionally, it seeks perspectives on job candidate skills, education, and training. The plan is that we'll collect the data, it'll be analyzed, and aggregated responses will be shared with local schools, our community and Employment Ontario partners, government agencies, and of course the public. And this collaborative effort is designed to enhance the understanding of workforce challenges and opportunities. It'll help to enable educators and employers to effectively respond to issues such as occupational shortages, in-demand skills, and professional development requirements.
Thanks, Sandi. Yeah, this is great because it's one thing to kind of get the data, but it's another thing to make sure that the data is accurate. So it's more important to get as many people answering this survey in the month of January as we can. So what makes a business eligible to answer this survey? You have to be local first?
That's correct. You do need to be a business that is located within Hastings, Prince Edward, and or Lennox and Addington counties. And yes, so it's open to all businesses in these areas, including your commercial businesses, your industrial business, institutions, organizations, nonprofits, charities, all businesses providing they have 2 or more employees. I want to share with you that the survey takes approximately 10 minutes to complete, and it's completely anonymous. The deadline for completing the survey is Friday, February 2nd. We do have an incentive. Would you like to hear about that?
Yeah, go for it, Sandi.
Okay, well, to encourage participation, businesses completing the survey will be eligible for a chance to win weekly draws of Canadian Tire and Tim Hortons gift cards. So remember, the sooner your survey is completed, the greater your chance of winning.
Perfect. So with that, Sandi, is everything online? Do we get paper copies? How does it work for businesses right now?
You bet. It's all done online and it's really simple to access. All you need to do is visit our website at cfwd.ca, and that's where you'll find a link to the survey. It's part of the announcement at the top of the homepage. Again, that's cfwd.ca.
Perfect. Now I understand you've moved offices here in Belleville. Where are you at now?
Right now, we have moved to, thanks for asking, that's a great question. We recently located to our new office at 47 South Pinnacle Street in Belleville. That's in the Harborview Plaza, directly across the road from the Boathouse Restaurant.
Sandi, as a non-for-profit, we just talked the United Way. I mean, they're always looking for funding, and it's such a dynamic economy right now. So walk us through kind of how the funding gets to Center for Workforce Development.
Okay, great question. Well, our core funding for our operations does come from the province of Ontario, from the Ministry of Labour, Immigration Training and Skills Development. And we're very grateful for that. It allows us to do some amazing work associated with what we refer to as service coordination. And that includes the opportunity for us to help to support important activities like Skills Ontario Canada competitions or work preparedness clinics. We do industry tours, hosting of career discovery events for students and all job seekers, keeping the economic development and Chamber of Commerce organizations up to date on local labor market conditions, and producing career guides for youth, parents, teachers. There's a plethora of things that we can do thanks to that funding, but there's a plethora more that need to be done. So we're forever, like any other nonprofit, we're always looking and seeking for additional funding to help us to grow the important work that we're doing here at the Center for Workforce Development.
Well, Sandi Ramsay, once again, the Executive Director, thanks so much for joining us as that wraps up the edition of Queenie Connection. Take care, and we'll see you next week.